Oh, I'm gonna be forever satisfied. I'm gonna be forever by his side. Spend my life drifting with the tide. Well, I'm gonna be forever satisfied. Hello, my name is Bob King. I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba. So I was asked to come here to bear my testimony of the church and how I feel about it. And just to sum it up, I feel very good about it. I love coming to church. I find I learn a lot when I come to church. Either if the speakers are interesting or not. Sure, I still learn a lot. I guess I was near 40, and a couple of missionaries came to my door. I didn't know much about the missionaries, so I wanted to kind of find out what they were all about, you know. So I asked a few questions, and they started giving me answers, and they started talking about, about Joseph Smith and the Book of Mormon. So they told me about the gold plates, is it? Seems kind of funny now. I asked where they got these plates originally, and they said they got them from an angel. So I said, oh, okay. So, as you can understand, I was a little skeptical, but I proceeded to talk to them and ask some questions. I studied it, and I started to believe it, you know. So I was getting the beginning of a testimony. But anyways, I took the missionaries' advice after a year and a half to pray about it, see if it was true. So I wasn't really that used to praying, but I did. I prayed one night. I fasted and I prayed, and I got an answer, but it wasn't really an answer I expected. The answer was just one of fear, because when I prayed and I asked, I felt the presence of a spirit in the room. It made me a little afraid. You know, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I kind of backed off, and I kind of went back to sleep. I remember when I was in Mexico, and I almost drowned in the ocean. I really thought I was going to drown, because there was an undertow or something that carried me out. So I got back on the shore, and I was totally exhausted. I was so exhausted I fell down on the beach, and I just stayed there. I think I prayed at that time. I said, Lord, I'm not a Christian. I don't go to church regularly, but if you can get me out of this, and you can tell me the right church, then I'll join it. So that was my commitment. And I told the boys, a little of my history, and I told them, I almost drowned once when I was in Mexico. I guess it was a couple of minutes later when one of the same missionaries said, I really want to hear about this Mexico trip. I said, yeah, I'll tell you about that Mexico trip. I almost drowned, and I prayed to the Lord to show me where the true church was, because I didn't know what it was. I didn't say too much more, but I said you guys came along at the right time, because I really found your conversation quite interesting. That's about a year later. I remembered that they told me about the promise of Moroni to pray about it to see if it was true. So I thought, well, it's kind of foolish of me to back off, because I asked them questions with in all sincerity. I said, I'm going to try this again. I think I better try this again. So it was about a week later, I guess, I did the same thing. I fasted and I prayed. And once again, I felt a presence outside my door. And I started to feel scared, but then I thought, then I asked the questions, and I asked him for a sign. And he gave me a sign, and it was like a supernatural experience. But I said, okay, I get it. And so a couple of weeks later, I got baptized. That was it. Once I got baptized, things kept getting better. I learned a lot more, and I started to believe a lot more, because the people there made a lot of sense. I'm very happy I joined. I knew that Jesus was was the true Messiah. He's a perfect mentor, you know. And the whole world would do, you know, there wouldn't be any more wars or anything, or hunger, if they followed Christ's gospel.
Right.
I'm going to look with Jesus every day. Now you got me going. I'm going to be beside him all the way. No more to be ruled by foolish pride. I'm going to be forever satisfied.